Peace and greetings, this is Artist. So in this video, I'm going to talk about something that we were discussing last night in the workshop. And I want to, again, thank everyone who came out to the workshop last night. We had a really good time, some really great discussions, and this was one of them. We were talking about the difference between working with what you would consider to be an ancestor and working with what would you consider to be a deceased relative. Now, I use the phrase deceased relative because I do not know my ancestors, okay? As far as 100 years, 200, now when you're talking about ancestors, you're talking about 100, 2, 4,000 years ancestors. When you're talking about your deceased relative, you're talking about someone who you know personally who has moved on into the spirit realm. When you're trying to reach out and contact your ancestors who have been gone for thousands of years, that's an extremely difficult task, to say the least, okay? It is so much easier to just get in contact with the people who you had a close relationship with, your immediate deceased relatives. And then from there, maybe you can explore and be able to reach out to your ancestors. I had one experience with my ancestors, and that was about 2 years ago. I was in the middle of a meditation. Long story short, I felt the energy of all of them around me, covering me and rocking with me. Okay, I was like, in spirit, I was like, these are my ancestors. I knew that, but I didn't have any I wasn't able to really have any kind of communication. It was just, I knew that they were there. So my biggest communications have come through my deceased relatives, through my sister, Adrian, peace and blessings be upon her, and my mother, Nettie Smith, peace and blessings be upon her. Those two are the main contacts that I've had in the spirit realm and that have helped me launch from there. So my recommendation is when you're working with this, work with your deceased relatives first. Get in contact with them and then try to move from there. Right? So if you have any other questions, comments, concerns about that, you know what to do. Until then,